Hi everybody. So today we have another tag video for you. This is the Project Panner Tag 2022. This one is the one that was created by Ruth Foley, and there is an assist that goes to both Deb B and to Dannie. All of these lovely ladies are going to be linked down below in the description box. Now, before we get into anything, I'm going to ask you to please do all of the things. I always do ask you, and I do appreciate when you guys do that. And I know this is kind of becoming my tagline, which I think is absolutely hilarious. So if you feel so inclined or motivated, subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up, ring the notification bell, leave me a comment. There's something else. Oh, you can share videos. I never ever think of doing that. But if you want to do that, hey, knock yourself out. I'm all for it. Whatever works for you, go ahead and do it. All of the things. So let's talk about Ruth for just a second here. Ruth is beautiful. She's lovely. She's beautiful. She's gorgeous. She's humorous. She is truly amazing in all ways. And I love watching her videos. Now, I'm new to this stuff, so I didn't think this was something that I was going to do. And then I thought about it and thought, you know what, maybe I might say something that gives somebody a different perspective because I'm really new to this game and because I'm older. So I told Ruth that I was going to do this. So Ruth, this one's for you, my dear. She set this up because she describes herself as being nosy and wants to know what other people do and think. So the first thing she asked was, what is the easiest category to pan? Now, I just started panning at the end of January of this year. Yeah, that's right. So I didn't know really what would be the easiest thing for me, but as I was thinking about this, loose powder seems to be my jam. Seems to be the easiest thing. I've gone through 3 of them this year. Not that they were all necessarily brand new this year. I mean, I don't know when exactly I opened them because of different houses, but I have finished 3 loose powders this calendar year already. That's shocking. And it's surprising because I am the driest skinned person. So you would think that I wouldn't use powder, but the difference for me is I am literally so dry that my skin eats makeup. If I don't powder, it won't set and it will literally vanish. That's the reason I stay away from cream products as much as I can too, is because my skin just eats them. Very hard for me to get them to set. So I don't know. I'm like an outlier in regard to that. I am the exact opposite of what you would expect from a dry skin person. But there you have it. So the hardest category to pan. Well, couple of different things for me. One is going to be concealer. If you watch my videos, you know I hate concealer. I need it. I could use it. It would be lovely if it didn't make me look like the Crypt Keeper. So concealer is my nemesis. And the thing that I've never panned is a bronzer. Now, I only started using bronzer a couple of years ago. I had never really used it before, so that may or may not be a good answer, but that's just kind of how it is I've not hit pan in a bronzer yet. There you have it. Okay, a product I flew through, shockingly to me, was this. A full-size Bath & Body Works body spray. When I came home at the end of March, this was here. And my first update, because I have it in a project, was here. And then I finished the rest of it in a month. We're going to get to that later because there's some questions she asked, and I'll explain how that happened. Otherwise, I end up jumping around and not actually answering the questions correctly. Would that shock anybody? Crazy train taking a detour. Yeah, it probably doesn't surprise anybody if I do that, but I'm going to try and stay on track for this and actually follow the prompts. Okay, a product you lost the will because it took so long to pan. this. This is in my deck of panning. I did not do my deck of panning update this month because of Migraineville. So this is in there. It's still in there. And I'm finding that I don't like it. I might end up just giving up the ghost on this one. I'm having a really hard time with it. It's the Supergoop CC screen. So this is their tinted sunscreen. Usually I use the unseen sunscreen, whatever the clear one is. And that I love. This has a different consistency. It has the tint in it. And I'm just ready to give up the ghost. It's not getting me what I want. I'm having a hard time with it. I may have to just pass it along. I don't know. We'll see. I'm still working on it, but I'm losing the will rapidly to get through that one. It's not the formula I like. It's not doing what I want it to do. It's a pain in the butt. It's just a hot mess. So anyway, okay, a product you wouldn't let beat you. Well, also in my deck of panning is this Avon Single Shadow in Mauve. Now, this isn't really a spoiler. Like I said, I didn't do an update. We know that I got all spunky and put this into pan. I'm getting there, you guys. I mean, you can tell I am getting there. And we got dip going big time. This is not going to beat me. I will hit pan on this sucker. I gotta be close. I mean, come on. I gotta be. I'll get there. That one's just, I'm digging in my heels and I'm just not going to let it go. I'm going to find that pan in the bottom of that thing. All right. So then we actually move into eyeshadow specific questions. First is the easiest to pan in a matte or a shimmer, or matte and a shimmer. And this one surprised me. As I was looking through things, this looks like an Avon. This is not. This is a Lancome. And these things are stupid expensive. But I panned that unintentionally. I wasn't trying to. This one I've got such a dip in. I mean, you can see the dips. This one's going to pan easy too as a shimmer. That's surprising because that's an accent color for me. And I'm not far off from hitting pan. This may be something I actually pop in as a pan that palette and literally just use the whole thing. And as a baby panner, it's a hilarious thing to call myself at my age. As a brand new panner, that's not something I thought I would take on. So that one surprised me. Now, for me, I can't say a specific brand other than that, but I found that the easiest things for me to pan, despite my fight with the Avon shadow, are these kinds of things. This is a Nars. Okay. This is a repressed Nars because it had panned so badly. And there's a pan in it too. And then this one, my poor little case is falling apart. This is a new one because I've already panned an entire one of these. And this is a Buxom shadow. So for me, it's the color. This color for me seems to be easiest to pan. So it's not a brand per se, it's more of the style of how I do my makeup. That's what I'm finding that is the easiest to pan. But like I said, that Lancome kind of surprised the crap out of me, especially with that shimmer that I'm got such a dip that I'm going to find a pan in that. Now, the hardest, I don't know. I really don't know because I haven't tried to pan other things. So I'm going to leave that to the experts out there. I don't have a answer to that question that's going to give anybody any kind of insight. So the 8th prompt is the best alternate use to pan a product faster. Now this one and the next one, okay, so the next one is best project panning tip to use a product faster. I think I'm mixing up in my mind. So 8 and 9 are kind of similar to me. I found with this that using it as a room spray is what went from here to empty in a month. This house here is bigger, okay? I have a lot of square footage. I have a lot of rooms. It's a very long house. In Arizona, I can go through it quickly as a room spray, but not as quickly as I can here in Minnesota. But literally that in a month that much in a month, that's pretty impressive. So anything like this, perfumes, any of that kind of stuff, spritz it in your closet. For me, I have throw pillows. I use body mist as pillow mist. That's my best tip. That is the one thing that I have consistently done, is I've always sprayed my closets. I've always sprayed soft lines. If you've worked in department stores, you know what that means. It's like, it's throw pillows, it's slip covers, it's not anything that's not dishes type of thing, I guess. Curtains, all that kind of stuff. That's my best tip for panning something faster that I haven't heard anyone else really talk about. So alternate use and best tip, kind of the same thing for me. The only other thing that I could maybe throw in here to kind of answer that, like I said, to me, those two questions are so similar that I'm having trouble differentiating, is I went through a ColourPop highlighter, using it as an illuminizing product, illuminator. Words. You know how I get with words. So those would probably be my big secret tips, and they're not really secret. The other ladies that have been doing this longer have really good tips, like using your eyeshadows as brows or in your hair, or all those wonderful things that they do that I just simply don't. But I'm also the crazy person that has so much in every category that I tend to not use it for alternate things very often, unless I'm intentionally trying to use it specifically to pan, if that makes sense. Do I ever make sense? You guys are going to have to let me know, because I think in my head sometimes I do, but I don't know that it always comes out of my mouth that way. Okay, anyway. The 10th one that Ruth put in here is what project panning has taught you. It has taught me a lot. It has changed a lot for me. And as somebody who just started doing this, that's huge. It's introduced me to an entire community of people who are awesome, first of all. It has taught me focus, because I do buy a lot. And in years past in particular, I have bought to an excess. So do I have far too many blushes? Absolutely. Am I ever going to finish them? Probably not. Do I have far too many highlighters? Oh yeah. Am I ever going to finish them all? I may have to start using that trick of putting it into like lotions to try and get rid of some of it. That's okay. If I ever feel the need to actually get rid of, if it gets older or whatever, we'll get there. I like variety. I like having a lot. But starting to pan and starting to focus has actually curbed my spending. I'm not going to lie and say I don't buy, because I do. I'm a makeup girl. I mean, I just am. I love eyeshadows. I love sparkly. I love shiny. I love all of that stuff. I'm going to continue to buy. I don't know that I ever really want to do a complete no buy. But getting through some of these things, finishing off things, because I'm infamous for getting so far through something and then leaving the rest of it, not finishing it, and having 17 open things. So being able to finish something, being able to use the sample sizes, the trial sizes, all of those things are helpful. Seeing the empties. Before I started doing videos, the first step I took was to save my empties to see how many things I actually used in a month. Then I thought, well, okay, I actually want to do deca panning, so I'm going to play along. Then I thought, well, if I'm doing this, I might as well go ahead, because I am one of the older ones in this community. And I thought, well, okay, so for me, things are a little bit different. Some of the styles that I use are a little bit different, so I can have a voice here, you know. And everybody's been so accepting and encouraging and supportive that this is my tribe, you know. So I learned that too, that this is, I loved beauty YouTube. I still watch a lot of new releases. I still watch some of the bigger names, people that I've been following, but this is where I feel at home. So that's also one of the things that I've learned. But specifically, it has helped me to tie things together, narrow in my focus, and actually push towards culling my collection. In addition to not buying as much, it's helping me clean out some of these things that have been around for a long time, or some of the things where my categories are just out of control. Some things are always going to be, okay? I'm always going to have every color eyeliner under the sun. I love them. I'm always going to have 8 million eyeshadow palettes. They will be bequeathed to every family member upon my death. I am quite certain, because I'm never going to finish all of them. I don't even think I'm going to try. I mean, it's just one of those things. Now, can I cut down some other categories? Am I? You betcha. Am I finding things I like and things I don't like? Absolutely. Knowing what you like is a big thing. Not spending money on things that you know you're not going to like just because other people are touting it is a good thing to learn too. So that also is something I've learned doing this, that I should probably stay away from certain ColourPop items. I'm not necessarily going to stay away from all of them, and I'm going to pick up things here and there, but I'm not going to willy-nilly buy the blushes and the highlighters because I just don't care for the formulas all that much. I'm not going to tell you that I didn't just get some because I picked up some Tinkerbell stuff on Poshmark, but it was a set, and I wanted the palette, and it came together, and yeah, I still do occasionally do those things. So it's not like I've completely learned my lesson or that I don't slip. And that's okay too. That is also okay. This is the biggest question for me, I think, because there are so many people in this community that have taught me things that I owe a debt of gratitude, and I don't want to insult anybody by leaving them out. But there are certain things that I think need a highlight. I hate to say that. So I have learned that, like Ruth, I like my old school notebooks to keep track of my projects. I have learned from Dannie that certain things you just need to keep your notebook in your bathroom and do your usages. I'm not as good as her, but some things I actually do try and keep track of. I've learned from Kim, from Teacher Loves Beauty, and this one is one of the most important to me, that I can set small usage goals. When you start looking at some of these ladies here, and they're powerhouses, these women are rock stars. They can go through projects. Good Lord, have you seen the videos that Jessica and Misty and Dannie have done of all of the things we're panning? Or their goals that they're setting? Good Lord, that's intimidating. If you're new, if you're thinking of doing this, if you're thinking of joining, that kind of stuff can stop you in your tracks before you get started. Now, I don't have a filter and don't really care if I look like a moron. I mean, everybody looks foolish at some point in their life doing something. So for me, making an idiot of myself isn't really that big of a deal. But there's an intimidation factor almost, because these ladies, and like, well, y'all know who you are. I've mentioned a few, but I mean, let's not forget that there's a lot of them out there, and I'm not listing every single person. So I pick up different tips from different people. Like, I love Misty's creativeness. I love Jessica's brain and her connections. I keep telling her that I want to be inside her mind because I think hers sometimes works a little bit like mine. Hopefully that's not insulting, because I know mine is a little bit wonky. I keep using the word wonky because she used it, and everyone made fun of me when I said it, but since she used it, I feel like I have free reign to say it again. But Kim teaching me that if I want to put something in for a 3-use goal, I can. That was huge. knowing that I don't have to be able to run with the front runners, that I can do this my own way, that I can do this at my own pace. That was a big, big thing to learn, to feel comfortable doing these things. I still struggle. I am so type A that if I don't have a goal completed, or if I don't have new things to roll or whatever, I sometimes feel like I'm failing, and I'm not. There are things that are going to take longer. A lot of these projects are year long. I don't have to complete every single prompt every month. That's a personal thing. That's on me. That's nobody else doing that to me. That's me doing that to me. So I'm learning that too. I know I'm a control freak. I always have been, and it's in every aspect of my life. I mean, this isn't a big surprise to me. So it's something that panning is also an area in which I struggle with that. And that's something I'm learning as I'm going along too. And I'm learning that letting myself slide is forgivable. There's enough women in this community that have enough disabilities that when I'm down for a week and maybe can't get all my updates in, if I maybe skip a month on updating something, there's grace and forgiveness in this community where no one's going to be like, well, you didn't do what you were supposed to, or you weren't this, or you weren't that. No one has said that. And it's okay to pre-film. It's okay to do them late. It's okay. I mean, there's just so much give. And everybody is supportive of that. So, okay, I'm rambling incessantly because basically what I'm trying to tell you is the biggest thing I've learned from the panning community is that it is awesome. The women here are awesome. I haven't seen any men in here, but I'm sure there are some somewhere. Okay. I think I should probably move on to the next one. So, Deb, who has the best outtakes ever, is her contribution to this is the product you're proudest of panning. Now, I haven't quite gotten there yet, but I'm counting this because this, I just put into Pan Me a Story, Watson. This literally is all that's left after repressing. This is brand new, beginning to end, going to be a completed Nars Orgasm blush. I have not panned a full blush probably not since the Mary Kay blushes. So this will be the first one that is not a Mary Kay one that I've literally ever, from beginning to end, completely finished. And this was also, this is the first blush I've ever repressed. So when I get this done, this will be the thing of which I am most proud. All right, Dannie added, what are your favorite projects to watch? For me, it is themed stuff. And not only is it my favorite stuff to watch, it's also the thing that sucks me in, and the reason that I go from, oh, let's start a channel in January, let's just start trying to pan, to doing 15 different projects. I've always been a big pop culture fan. I love music, I love movies, I love books, and the Fantastic Ladies, as well as some other people individually, come up with such flippin' good ideas. I am having a ball. I love these projects. I love the themes. And I'm hard pressed to not do every single thing I come across. So for me, that's going to be the thing that I think is probably my favorite. And then in addition to that, I really, really love watching empties, especially from the panners. If a panner tells you that they would repurchase, that's something you can bank on because they literally will eke out every drop and they're not going to waste their time buying something again if they didn't love it. So empties are always a good one for me too. Those will pretty much suck me in every time. But otherwise, my favorite project of the projects, the actual projects, it's going to be the themed ones. It's going to be, okay, now keep in mind, I just started this year. So there's a lot of projects that have happened that I either haven't been involved in or wasn't around for or don't know. But I am loving Panning Punk. I am loving the whole Pan Me a Story Watson. I'm actually going to read all of them too. Mari's musical panning project. Absolutely love, 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 love. Missed out on the 80s one, which would have been my era, so I jumped into the 2000s one, and I'm having a ball with it, even though that wouldn't be my era per se. All the little fun ones. I love Mandy's new project that I joined. I love Sharice's new project that I joined. I love the open-ended ones. I love Color Pan. I love Old New Gifted Blue. I love these smaller things. I like bite size. I'm finding that if I keep it bite size, it helps my type A, it helps my OCD, it helps my control freak. And so for me, those are the ones that not only do I love doing, but I also love watching other people do. And the best part about that is I love the connections people make from the prompt where their train of thought goes to get to the product for that prompt. That's what really, I think, gets my creative juices flowing. And I just love the logic of how people make these things work. Because it's basically, in business theory, my academic side is going to come out just a touch here. If you take someone from one industry and hire them into another, you are setting yourself up for innovation. And that's kind of what I'm seeing here. These prompts and these products and how you get from A to B is innovative to me. And to me, that's always fascinating and interesting. Okay, so hopefully I have given you the perspective of a brand new panner. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thank you for spending your time with me. Thank you for letting me ramble, because this really, really, really was all about me just talking about how cool this community is. And thank you to Ruth. A, for just being Ruth. Ruth, you make my day all the time. I love your videos. I love your personality. I love your humor. I think you are an absolute blessing. Thank you for doing this tag. Thank you for letting even the newbie play along, because sometimes I don't know that I really can do some of the tags. I just don't have the answers or experience. So thank you to Dannie and Deb also for their contributions. And then thank you to all of the other ladies. Finding you has really made my life better. So until next time, you guys, see ya. Bye.